Yeah, so I think the biggest health issue for college students, like around food, is that they don't have access to natural food that tastes good. Well, I think, just to be totally honest, the options suck. So like whenever you're on a college campus, like they just assume that college kids are like okay with eating shitty food, and so they don't really put in a lot of effort into one, making the place like be somewhere that's like nice, because they think we're just gonna come in and be drunk and wreck it, and two, like actually give us options that are good for you, right? There's just this assumption that there's a lot of drinking that goes on college campuses, and that people don't care, and that they just want to spend as little money as possible, and so like, not that these foods are bad, because if they're made well, they're delicious, right? But it's mostly like it's like cheeseburgers or pizza or like late night like sub shops and stuff like that, which are great, right? Like, but you definitely can't eat those every day unless you just want to spend the whole day sleeping. But yeah, so I generally think the problem is a lack of options, because I think people know how to eat well, want to feel great for the most part, and like know that like this type of food can taste really good as long as it's cooked and it's not just served raw. Okay, so generally I feel like there's this connotation around like natural or healthy food. Healthy food, I mean, the word healthy only exists because like we can like now create donuts and Twinkies, right? Or else it would just be food. And so what ends up happening, especially when we first opened, you got a lot of guys that came in and they'd see kale and they'd be like, oh shit, there's kale, and they'd freak out and they'd walk out. But it's just typically these types of food have just been served raw. And if you go and you look at any other restaurant, like everything's cooked, right? It's not gonna be delicious or taste good if there's not like some culinary or some effort behind it. So for us, the big challenge I think is, showing people that this type of food, that natural food, can actually taste really good. So the way we built the concept, right, is the most important thing is that you have fun in life and that you enjoy what you're doing every day. And so like, if you're gonna eat something 3 times a day, it's important that you like it, or else it's just impossible to continue doing it every day. So that's number one for us, is focusing on the taste. And I think that's a big thing, because even if college students do have options, a lot of the time, I think the perception of healthy food in general, like even not college students, is that it's just not going to taste good. It's just something you have to do to be healthy. And I don't think people are okay with that, right? Like college students especially, right? Like you're going out to eat, it's a break from classes, it's a break from studying, it's something you do after you go out with your friends. Like you also want to enjoy it. And so that's probably the most important thing to try and find, is to find not just a place that's good for you, but a place that you like that happens to be good for you.
You got it. So your own college experience inspired you to start Roots. What were your eating habits like as a student?
So I ate pretty well, but that's because I forced myself to cook a lot at home. And then I was also pretty weird, like in the dining hall, I would only eat the salad bar, but the salad bar was awful. It was just like raw carrots and tomatoes. So like it's like would be challenging to eat on a consistent basis if you weren't just trying to be healthy. And what I kind of realized also is that like you'll watch documentaries and people will talk about how like eating healthy is actually like affordable and it's like pretty cheap and it's not that hard. And there's a documentary we watch here called Fed Up, where they'll compare McDonald's to a bunch of vegetables that you can get in the supermarket, and they'll like say that the vegetables are cheaper, but they don't acknowledge that you have to drive to the supermarket, you have to know what to buy, you have to spend time buying it, you have to go home, you have to like prepare it, you have to like be a pretty good cook to make it taste better than McDonald's. Like if you have kids or a family, you have to force them to eat it. So like, and then you have to clean after, which sucks, right? So like there's all these steps to like doing this, which make it really difficult. So for me as a college student, right, it's like, how do you fit that in between studying, in between like, working out, if that's what you're into, going out with your friends, which takes up like a lot of your time, right? Like you actually want to have fun while you're in school. So it's challenging more than just the options part. It's challenging that if you want to control it and do it at home, you'd like have no time. You like spend 30% of your days either looking for food, cooking it, or cleaning, right? And like as a college student, we don't have that much time. We're always like pretty busy.